Good afternoon, everyone. It is 1 o'clock. It is the 16th of October, so that makes it Vlogtober day 16. I didn't record yesterday because I didn't end up getting to work in the house. I had to do a lot of running around, bill paying, shopping, laundry, all that fun stuff. So today is the day. The color is going on the wall. I did stay up late on Monday night and did more scrubbing. And then I just got the last little bit done this morning, the last residue of wallpaper. And then I went around and spackled the nail holes. I didn't do my crack because I forgot that I have to buy a strip of webbing from Home Depot and I didn't get there yesterday. So that will be fine. I'm gonna go ahead, I can start cutting in. I can get back to that. As soon as I get to Home Depot, grab the webbing, and then I'll be able to patch that correctly, because if I just fill it with spackle, it will crack. So that is where we are right now. I've just opened the coral paint. If you guys want to know what the exact color is, it's called Coral Reef. It's Benjamin Moore paint. It is an official 1950s color. So Coral Reef, if you like it when you see it go up and you want a 1950s coral, this is it. So I'm about to pour into my big bucket and then my little small hand cup for doing the trim, or not the trim, the cutting in. And I'm going to start at the bottom because I'm tired of being on the ladder. And I will check back with you a little bit when I got some color on the wall. Talk to you in a minute. Hey guys. So it is 3 o'clock and I am about 90% cut in. I thought I would just give you a quick look around to see how the color is looking. It is still hard to get a good idea with the green because against the green it just looks terrible. But when you look at the wall that is just, you know, white up at the top, you can kind of get a little bit better. But I'll flip you around and I will give you a quick look, and then I'm going to get back to it so I can get at least all the cutting in done today. I'm hoping I'm going to start rollering also because I know I'm going to have to do a second coat, and it would be best to get it at least one coat in done today. That way I can get coat 2 in tomorrow and then see where I need to be after that. So let me flip you around here real quick. Okay, so this is where I started. The entire bottom section is done against the floorboards. Here it is against and the lighting is not great right now as it would be in the morning. But here it is against the woodwork. I don't know what color it's gonna look. It looks, on my camera, it looks bright orange. It is not bright orange at all. And it isn't pink either. It is definitely a nice coral. And I think too, what is going to make this color work so well are the furniture and the accents and things that I have, the curtains that are going to go with it. So yeah, you can see here against the green, it is really, and it doesn't, you know, not a ton of coverage right there, but the man in the paint store assured me that this Benjamin Moore is the best, and even going over a dark color, I should be good with 2 coats. So here's hoping he's right. I do have 2 gallons, so I'm thinking that should be plenty. I've gone in the corners here and over there, but that's kind of where you can see it best, although again the color, I'll flip the light off here. No, too dark to see anything about the light in here right now, but in the morning is when we get the sun over there on the east side. So these windows face the east. So that's when we get the morning sun. And so that's basically, that's it. That's what I've got done. And I have this section right around here to do to there. And then I can start rollering. And I'm moving along pretty quick. So I've got all the larger sections that needed around the windows. And most of the door frames, I just have two more door frames to do and half of the big one. So I will check back in with you again later. Good evening, guys. It is 3 minutes to 9. I have just finished the first coat of the walls. The lighting in here is absolutely terrible right now. What I can see in certain spots, like up in the top where the white was, where the wallpaper had been, the color is showing up much nicer because it doesn't have to cover all that horrible green. So I can get a better look at what it's going to look like when I look at those spots. It's pointless for me to show you what it looks like right now because it just looks like a big orange blob. I think it's really, excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice. It's gonna look great when it's all done and put together, but right now the color is very intense and very different from what it had been. That dark green and that dark wallpaper, and this is just so bright. It is a very pretty color. I know you're just looking at me and this big orange blob and you're like, what are you talking about? What did you do? Orange is like one of my least favorite colors, and it always has been, but this coral is very pretty, and paired with turquoise accents and mid-century furniture, it's gonna look great. I know it. And I'm not just saying that to convince myself. As I've been painting it though, I'm trying to decide what color I'm going to do the trim. If I should be doing it pure white, or if I should go, you know, is that too stark, or should I go with something a little softer? I'm going to look up on the Benjamin Moore website. They had an accent color paired with this, like they give you examples. You can look at an entire room painted in this color and they show you what they pair with it. So I'm going to see what they suggest. But on the other hand, they're also going to be going more, you know, modern, what people do now. And for me, I don't care. I'm not a stickler for vintage details, but I just kind of want it to have that look of like however it was, you know, what did they do in the 1950s? What color was their trim if it wasn't wood? I, of course, will have my entry wood, but I'm trying to decide, do I go with the white or do I go a little off? So anyway, I'm going to take a look at some colors, I guess, and figure that out. The trim that's up around the ceiling there, that is not as pure white, I'm sure, to you on the camera. It's not, you're not going to be able to tell what I'm talking about. But this trim up here, it's not as stark white. As I'm looking at it on the camera, it looks more stark than the ceiling. The ceiling is stark white ceiling paint, but this trim is actually a little off white. Whether it was originally that way or not, it's, you know, it could just be aged from being more than 12 years. I mean, who knows when it was originally painted? I don't know. When they put that trim up, they painted it, and you can even sort of see the wood through it. They didn't even do like 2 coats on it. It's very, the previous paint job is extremely shoddy. Apparently they did their trim first, and then they did their wall color, because they slopped the wall color onto like the trim around the windows and all things. There's like big streaks of green. I mean, it would have been easy enough to just even wipe that off. I mean, it's big and it's prominent, so I don't know, just sloppiness. But also, of course, you can still see, maybe you can see right here, there were those white squares on the wall, and then also up here was the white, here's the green. So with one coat, you can still see through it. So that's why the color is more true on the white than it is down here on the green. Hoping that 2 coats, I still have a lot of paint left. I went ahead and put my 2 gallons into a bucket to mix them together, because that's what you do to make sure your color is all even. Don't do 1 gallon then do another, you put them together apparently. So if I end up having to get another one more, I don't know. But I'm betting that I probably have more. I probably have enough to do more than 1 coat, more additional, more than 2 coats. It's 9 o'clock. I've been working all day. What can I say? Yeah, it's been a 12-hour day. I started at 9, finished at 9. Stopped to make dinner. But then I came back in because I was determined to get this first coat done so it can be fully dried and ready to go for coat number 2 tomorrow. Since it is this late, since it's after 9 now, I'm not going to upload this tonight. I will tack this on till tomorrow's, so it'll be another 2 for a day, and you'll be seeing it all together. So I won't be saying goodnight, I'll just be saying see you tomorrow, and it'll be just like that. Good afternoon, everyone. Trying to get in some decent light here. It's after 2 already, and I'm only really just getting started today, since I was up so late last night, and I did not sleep well. You'd think I'd be dead. My muscles and my body were shot. But anyway, went back to bed this morning for several hours, and so I'm only kind of getting things going now in the afternoon. Of course, the first coat is done. I don't have any lights on in here right now, so I don't know. You can kind of get, it's not very bright in here. I missed the morning light to show you, but there's not too bad of an angle right up there. And that looks kind of nice and soft. I think when lamps are lit in here and all, it's going to be really pretty. So anyway, ran to Home Depot early this morning and got the webbing tape and got it up over here. Of course you can't see it because it's, you know, webbing. Anyway, I put that up there, and then there's a deep crack right above the door frame right there, almost a hole that goes through. So I put some over there. So I am about to spackle that and then go ahead and get coat number 2 up, and hopefully that will cover the rest of the green, because that's the portion that looks like it's needing it the most. So we'll check back with you again in a bit. Good morning, friends. I did not video much yesterday, just that little snippet that you would have just seen. Liam helped me work for a bit because my body still was not having it. I had a lot of bending over work to do, and I was just feeling a little too lightheaded. But first thing I want you to notice is the morning sun in here it looks really nice and soft, and it is a really lovely coral color. Our second coat is mostly up. We were not perfect. And we quit early. We just didn't, we had other things to do, but the coverage on the green is much better. There's still spots we need to go over more. And I can see in the daylight a bunch of little white spots here and there up around the top that I will have to go back on the ladder for. I'm really so tired of being on the ladder that I didn't want to go on it at all yesterday. I did, let me see if I can get in position here that you can see the spot I covered. Probably looks better on camera than it actually does in person. I didn't do the greatest job up there, and I do see a little spot where the webbing is showing right in the center, so I am going to need to put a little more spackle in there and then paint over it. You can see it. I didn't sand it. I didn't do a fabulous job, but it's still better than having a crack up there. At least it's secure. Not too worried about it. For a 120-year-old house, little imperfections here and there don't bother me as long as they're repaired and not broken, let's say. You know, but I don't expect it to look like a brand new finished drywall, like a brand new house would have, if you follow what I'm saying. What I mean, those little dings here and there definitely add to the character and the age of the house. So that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not looking for a super smooth. I just want it fixed, which it is. So I will go up there and fix that little hole that I noticed that I didn't get enough spackle in, and just paint over it again, since I'm definitely going to use all the paint that I have. I'm not going to let any of it go to waste, because there isn't any that I can see like, oh yeah, this is plenty, I don't need to do any more. And there's a wall over here we did not even get to. So you can definitely see the difference there, where the green and the white are obvious, and over here is much better. It's slightly, I can still see it a little, but it's better than it was. So I think one more coat, or especially on those cross edges onto the green, will help. What else? So that is going to be the plan for today. Let's walk over this way. You can see a little more how it looks in the light, how it looks with the woodwork. Of course, the woodwork will look much nicer once it's been refinished. It's just all dried out and everything right now. I'm going to put Danish oil on it when it's all finally cleaned up and everything. But again, getting the walls and the floor done is my priority right now, so we can actually live in this space again, and get all the stuff from the current family room moved in here, and then that work will begin in there to turn that into our dining room, which should not be, if you haven't seen any of my previous vlogs when I talked about this, I will walk you in here real quick and show you what we've got in here. And of course I have stuff from the other room already in here, like the cat tree doesn't belong in here, and some, paintings and things on the floor that were taken down, and a cabinet over there that will belong in here. Our old TV stand will go away. I'm going to try and sell that in the newspaper, hopefully. And but I've got all this stuff is going to have to find a new home. My Barbies and things will have to probably just be stored for a while until I can make space for them up in my sewing room. The light isn't bad in here. I look so red. Oh, and there goes my battery. Let me switch my battery. I'll be right back. Okay, so as I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, so everything in here is going to have to be dismantled. All of these built-ins, these modern built-ins, will be taken down. My husband has new storage that I have purchased for his books and Star Wars figurine collection, and that all will go into the family room. So no problems there. The mid-century desk will go in there. The television will go on the dresser, but I have to refinish that. So there's another project. And then I think I'm just going to mostly put most of these pictures and things in storage for a while until I decide what I want to keep and transfer into the other room. The only one I know, well, there's a couple I know for certain, is this, which I absolutely adore, and I kind of want to carry it in there and see how it looks in the new room, because this is like, this picture is almost an inspiration for that room because it's those beautiful 50s colors, and it's just gonna look so fantastic in there. I might do that in a second here. Take it down and go look in there. And then also my lamps. I have these fantastic original chalkware lamps that are so heavy that have the turquoise and coral flowers on them, and they're supposed to look like driftwood. They will also be fabulous in there, so I can't wait to get this stuff together now that I see the color up in there. What else? Oh, and then I have these other mid-century pictures. I bought these many years ago, probably like the first year Bell Star Antiques was open. I got these, and I love them. So definitely going with a floral, tropical 50s theme. And my bark cloth curtains, which you have not seen, that used to be in this room, and I had taken down for a while. I have to hem them, but they will go perfect in here. They're gray and have turquoise and pink flowers. They are, and you know, big green leaves, so they will be fantastic. So I think I am going to set the camera down here for a minute and go grab that picture and just hold it against the wall and see how it looks, because I'm anxious. Let me do that real quick and I'll be right back and let you see. Okay, so I'm kind of far away, but yeah, maybe I'm just going to prop this on the floor and then we can see it against the paint a little bit better, because I can't. Yeah, it's going to be great. I still can't really get the effect, but it definitely makes the orange, the colors that are popping out. I'm too close, too far away. This is terrible footage. I can't get a really good shot just holding this up anywhere, but can kind of, I don't know, photobomb, dog photobomb, kind of see a little bit. It's kind of a lot of glare. It's going to be great when it's on the wall, and from what I'm seeing, it looks fantastic. What it looks like on the screen, not that great, but anyway, I love it, and it's going to be beautiful in here. I'm just anxious, and I got to get the painting done or I'm never going to get the rest of it together. So, on that note, I have better say goodbye for now, and, well, not goodbye, but just see you in a bit, and hopefully I will pick up the camera again later and show you that more has been done or something to report. I still have to pick out my color, which you haven't even heard me say that yet, because all these videos will be together, because now I will have 3 days all lined up and I haven't uploaded. So hopefully this video will go up for you tonight. See you in a bit. Hello and welcome to the 1:30 update. So I have just completed going over, I think, most everything. I might have missed something, I forget what it was, with the roller. And I also finished what little remains I had in the bottom of one of the cans. When I dumped it, I left, well, you know, there's a little bit left in there. I went around with the brush again, and between the whole lower areas, and touched up all the edging and all of against around the windows and stuff, up against the baseboard, doorways, entryways, all as I'm standing. I look so orange in here. This lighting is terrible. That's even worse. My face is bright red. Let's see. Here we go. That's a little better. I'll face the window. So let's put this, maybe I can put this up here. Dog. we go. Okay, so all that is done, and then I went and respackled the little spot over there, over that doorway that needed that. So the next step for me to do is to take the 2-gallon can and go back up on the ladder. Go all the way around up there, tops of the door frames, and redo all that edging where I may have missed a few spots, get in a little closer if needed. Then after that, I will assess where I am. I still have paint and I can still see spots, but I need to let it dry from what I've already done so I can see where the green is still peeking through here and there. I've got really good coverage right now. You can't see the dividing line in most places, as obviously. Some areas haven't been gone over that heavy because I couldn't reach it with the pole. I've got to take it off and get a little closer. And then I also have a mini roller where I can go in like under the windows and do stuff like that. So I'm about to change my shoes, put my sneakers back on, get back up on the ladder and do edging up there, cutting in. Well, it's not technically cutting in anymore. Touching up around the perimeter up here again. So I will check back in again with you after that. This color looks so bright, so orange in this shot. Yeah, okay. Talk to you in a bit. Good evening, folks. Happy Friday. It's 5 o'clock and it's time for wine. I just got back from the store. I grabbed a few things for dinner. The boy is making, the young boy, he's the one that cooks. He is making quesadillas for me for dinner tonight. Just threw the chicken in the pan to get that started. Chicken cheese quesadillas. Anyway, so that's what we're having for dinner. I have wanted to give you a little bit of an update on where we're at. As I sit here and sip my wine, it is a beautiful fall early evening. Sun is only just starting to go down. It's just a little bit after 5. And I have finished painting the walls. I've done all the trim, not the trim, I keep saying that. I have done all of the touch-ups around the bottom and the top of the trim, and I've gone over some areas on the walls. I still have some paint left, so I'm not going to rule out still touching up. I want to use up all the paint I can to make sure I have a really thorough coverage on the wall, that green is not gonna show through at all. But it's looking really good now that the edges are touched up. I still have the trim to work out. I'm thinking I'm starting to lean toward a nice vanilla cream color. Not too much off white, but definitely not a stark white. It's fine for the ceiling, but I really think that against that coral color, it needs something a little bit softer so it's not such a harsh line, especially since the big entryway is going to be the natural wood. I don't want it to be this extreme contrast of white trim on the other doorways and natural wood on the other. So I think a nice vanilla will tie that in a little bit better. I'm going to hold off on doing that though. I am going to go and work on the floors next, starting tomorrow. I went to Home Depot and I bought myself some knee pads because I'm not about to start doing a job on the floor on my knees, which I have bad knees anyway. But I've already been through that when I retiled my bathroom floor, and I didn't finish even some of the very little back trim edges because I could not stand the pain in my knees anymore, and I just couldn't stand to be on the floor anymore. So I've got the knee pads. I just got like a little $10 pair. They seem pretty good for what I'm going to need. I have my citrus strip left, and I have, I think I got about a half a container, so I'll work with that until I need some more, then I'll go get more. Just in case it doesn't work the way I think it will be and I have to change product. So I think that's probably best. I have my mineral spirits to clean up the floor as I go. And the last blog that I read, a man that does this professionally strips this way, and he cleans up with the mineral spirits on the floor. So that's what I'm going to use, and we'll just hope for the best and see what happens. I got some scrubby sponges to help clean up, and he says do section at a time, step by step, instead of like stripping the entire floor and then cleaning. So you do a section and get it all cleaned up completely, and then move on to the next section and strip, and so forth and so on across the room down the length of the boards. So that is what I will be starting on tomorrow, and yay, Saturday. I think that is about all I have. Can't think of anything else. Nothing new on the sewing front. Just don't have the time for that right now. But I am going to take a little break in my knitting for the next few evenings whenever I would be knitting, and I am going to go through some of my leftover stash of yarn that I used to make snoods with, and I am going to make up a few snoods, what I have left, and list them in the shop. I also have a bunch of other things I really need to get listings done. I have some vintage sewing machine parts for a specific machine. I forget what it is right now, but they're these little discs, I think, that change what the stitch is. I can't remember what. It's a foreign machine, but I've seen them listed on Etsy before, so I need to get those up. And vintage clothing. I have a bag full of vintage clothing that I was gifted that is not my size, and it is really cute. A lot of nice fall winter pieces in there, or like dressy stuff, and then there's a few other things that I had purchased to list, but I really need to get listings done. So I'm not exactly sure when that'll happen, but I'm at least going to try and get those snoods, because I have photographs and everything of the snoods done, ready to go. Those listings are done, but I just want to have the snoods ready to go. I think I have some red and some black, and definitely I know I have some turquoise. So if you're wanting any of my snoods, because I don't plan on doing them regularly, just every now and then, I will pop them into the shop. But I guess that's all I have. So happy Friday. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I will definitely see you tomorrow. I will definitely start vlogging the floor process. But have a nice Friday evening, and by the time you see this, I hope you have had a nice Friday evening and had a nice beverage of your choice, whether it's wine or beer or a cocktail or just something non-alcoholic. I hope you had a nice Friday night, and I will see you tomorrow, Saturday. Bye.